what's up? Welcome back. This is the second episode that we are recording. This is our anime podcast.
We should probably say our names again, yeah.
Yep.
Just
of course.
My name is Brennan. This is
Sean.
And
Dylan.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
Just like Brendan's hand motions.
Oh yeah, he's pointing at us.
I gesture violently a lot. That's my shtick. Anyways. So yeah, welcome back. If you're listening to this, thank you for listening to this, because we don't deserve people who listen to us and give a fuck about our opinions.
That's true.
Thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah. So yeah, here we are talking about anime. This week we watched another anime together. It was Mob Psycho 100.
If everyone is not special, maybe you can't be what you want to be. それの答えにつかるだ
Let this be the spoiler warning. Spoiler warning.
Jesus.
Right
Holy
now.
shit.
That peaked. I don't care. I don't care that it peaked. You need to be warned adequately.
Spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning. We're gonna spoil the shit out of the show. Don't say we didn't warn you, because we did. If you haven't watched the show, go watch the show and then come back.
Come back, yeah.
And listen to this, and we can talk about it.
So just to set the tone here, we all have a couple of beers. We should probably crack them now.
Let's do that.
Let's do that.
Wait, in unison maybe?
Or one after another.
99!
That was good. I'm glad that happened. We got a lot of table shake on that one.
That's fine. So, I want to kick it off by just asking, as I'd like to do every week, what did you guys think of Mob Psycho 100?
Amazing! Amazing anime.
Brennan says amazing.
Okay, I liked it, but I loved One Punch Man, and I know this was by the same guy.
Yeah, both by one.
Yeah, so I had like really high expectations for it. Like I was expecting to love it off with that, and I did. But I don't know.
Did you love One Punch Man right off the bat? I'm just asking.
Because it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Because it was really funny. I hope I said that in the last episode. Maybe I'm contradicting what I said last time.
I think we were all,
but over time,
unanimously agreeing that One Punch Man was sick.
Yeah. One Punch Man was sick. I'd like to say that not only do I love Mob Psycho 100, but it reinvigorates why I love anime, and I love it way more than One Punch Man.
Oh yeah,
I gotta say, it's like
really
100% agree. This is bar none the funniest anime I've ever watched.
That's intense.
Full stop. No,
funnier
maybe
than One Punch?
Yes, without a doubt. I mean, maybe I don't actively search out comedy anime.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the humor doesn't translate. I don't want to give a blanket statement over all anime, but a lot of like the Eastern humor doesn't translate to Western humor.
Yeah,
it's like inherently more childish,
especially
depending on the audience it's aiming at.
Yeah, and if you're watching the dub, it doesn't help any because it's not delivered in.
Yeah,
unless you're watching the mob dub. Must I say? Yeah.
No, this was a great anime. I definitely liked it, but I don't know. I liked One Punch more.
You guys notice how
because it was more unconventional.
The author one has
his name one in both titles.
Yeah, has put one into both the titles.
I was going to bring that up.
Both of his comics and manga shows.
100.
Actually, one point I wanted to bring up while we're linking, because I'm sure we'll dive deeper into it. But while we're talking about One Punch Man, did you guys notice the references to One Punch Man?
Yes, dude.
Right.
First episode.
That was awesome.
Phone background,
and then later Mob's reading a comic that's One Punch Man.
Yeah.
So that means that this exists in a universe where One Punch Man is a manga.
I watched Mob twice, and I didn't notice the phone background. I don't know what you guys are talking about, but I noticed the comic, obviously.
Yeah.
And the comic is like roughly drawn because it's like the one, like the author
comic.
one's version of it, because he's not like an illustrator.
Yeah.
He's not a good drawer at all.
That's why it's so simple.
Yeah. So those are his drawings. It's pretty sweet.
But yeah, the phone background appears in the first episode where they're in the cave.
It's Reagan's.
Yeah, it's Reagan's phone background.
Oh,
he whips it out.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure when they're confronting the like the dark spirit that lives there or whatever.
Yeah, he calls Mob to help. Or
yeah,
something.
it's there for like a split second. It was very quick. I had to go back and rewind and pause it and be like, oh shit.
Fuck, I missed it.
Yeah, I took a screenshot of it to remind me to talk about this. So,
also, wait, can we talk about how episode 1, Return of Ballface?
Yes, okay. I screenshotted that too.
So for the audience, in episode 1 of both One Punch Man and Mob Psycho 100, there's a character with balls as their chin.
It's just
a ball face.
Their face, it's just
is balls.
A ball
in
sack.
One Punch Man, it was the child.
This time it was an
Saitama
adult.
wasn't sure if he wanted to save.
Yeah, he wasn't very
cute.
Man,
that kid isn't cute.
Yeah.
This time it was a man who Reagan was. He was conning a nice couple, and he was like, "Don't look at that man; he's an evil spirit." Or some shit.
Perfect.
They walked past him on the street. Yeah, you're right.
It was Ballface.
Yeah, good old Ballface.
I hope he makes an appearance in every one anime.
Yeah. Oh, I bet he will.
Yeah. Almost.
Before we delve into the show more than just episode 1, I want to bring up the theme song.
Oh my
which
god!
Is
fucking amazing. We didn't talk about One Punch Man's music last time. I feel like.
Right. I've heard such good things about the opening to One Punch Man. Like, all these people talking about how it gets you, like, so pumped.
It is.
I'm not, like, a huge fan of it.
Here's the thing. It got really, like, as far as J-Rock goes...
Right.
Usually with anime openings, you don't get them that, like, over the top and, like, thrash metal-y. It's, like...
Right.
This was, like, really, like, full throttle, and it was interesting to see that. It was, like, unexpected.
Yeah.
And I dug it. But, that being said... Mob Psycho's
theme is next level. Yeah,
it's something
counting up to 100. Jesus Christ, 99.
Yeah,
it's fucking amazing, and like the animation of the theme.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
The
it's
opening
like
is
everybody's dancing
amazing.
And shit. And
the color scheme,
sit-ups on mushrooms, and all the monster faces.
I don't know how you really, think of that shit.
Oh,
but you got to be a fucking genius,
crazy person.
Yeah.
I want to know what drugs they did. I want to know. Also, the art style of Mob as a whole, it's a lot different from... do you have a lot to say about this?
I don't have a lot to say about the art style of Mob, but all I gotta say is that it's fucking great.
It's sick.
Some of the characterizations and the faces of the characters look so real, almost like Attack on Titan. Like when you're looking at a Titan, you're like, this looks too real.
It's not anime-ish. It's like almost like the shading is a bit too like...
It's a bit
3D. Yeah. It's like kind of... I really like this because it's like it was really unconventional in the sense that it's kind of janky at times, and it uses that to its benefit. So it's not like it kind of threw me for a loop at first. I was like, "What's going on? Like, isn't this made by like the same studio or like the same people who like had a hand in One Punch Man?" It's like, it should look better.
Not the same studio, but like the same artist.
Yeah,
for the manga.
I feel like it would have the same budget. So I was like, wait, they're doing
which
this
one
on
came
purpose.
out first, though?
One Punch Man came out first, yeah. They were almost back to back. Actually, wait, no, they were probably a year apart. Never mind.
They're a year apart. But yeah, no, I was a bit thrown at first, but then I was like, wait, this works. Also, during like really dramatic moments, there's it just turns into a painting sometimes.
Yeah. Dude, it's incredible, yeah. They try like some interesting
cool.
animation shit in the show. One thing I love, which is something that reminds me of the Digimon movie,
holy shit!
How every character is outlined in dark green. Have you noticed that? Nobody is outlined in black like every other anime out there. They're outlined in dark green, guys. You gotta keep up with it.
I didn't take that notice.
Amazing.
No.
It's so cool. You could look at any character in the show. But
are you positive?
Oh, dude! I watched the show twice, and I would have noticed if anyone was outlined in black. So the way that this reminds me about the Digimon movie is because, like, the Digimon, when they go into the internet, they're outlined in red. Humans, when they go into the internet, aren't outlined at all. They just don't have an outline. And I, like, loved that. It's one of my favorite parts of that movie. I fucking appreciate that art. And so to see, like, a green outline instead of black in Mob is, like, fucking amazing.
Also, the outline, or not the outline, the action is really, really good overall. Like, I feel like it's very much in the vein of One Punch, where it's super dynamic, super interesting to look at. It's not like your typical action stuff, especially with the whole concept of it, and Mob being like an Esper and all that, and everybody having psychic powers just kind of gives them more of a license to get a bit crazier with the visuals.
Oh, I gotta say, one thing that reminded me of the art style of Attack on Titan is because this show uses a lot of thick lines too.
Yeah.
Attack on Titan is
very,
super
very
thick lines. This is Mob Psycho's not
that put me off,
as thick, but I can see. I remember you saying this. I appreciate it for what it is because no other show has that like
look.
it's very that deliberate look. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Whether or not it's like amazing is something else. That's like
it
doesn't matter
discussion.
too much to me. Yeah, it's like what you're talking about with One Punch Man's song, intro song. Like not my type of thing to listen to, but the fact that it does that is really cool.
It's interesting. It's novel.
I really liked all the graphics, like the cutaways.
Yeah.
Like those like different kind of like titles coming up. Like obviously there's Mob's whole like progress towards.
His
I could talk about that for an hour. Yeah.
That was so well done. And then there's even just like there's a part where he's in the body improvement club and then just like Mob stamina just like comes across. And then my favorite thing was Reagan's special moves.
Oh my god! Yes,
yeah.
It's like this is where Reagan throws a pinch of table salt.
This is one of Reagan's special moves.
It's normal table salt. But people don't know that.
I can't believe you stole that from me. I wanted to be the one to say all of Reagan's special moves.
I started writing them down because
for listeners, in case like you're forgetful of characters' names or something, which I totally am. Reagan is the master.
He's the ginger-haired.
What's Mob's actual name?
I have it written down.
Kageyama, but something Kageyama. Shigeo Kageyama. Why is he called Mob?
I don't know. They never explained that. It's just his nickname.
I think Reagan started calling him that. Reagan's the only person that calls him that.
Mobu.
Oh, right. That's a Japanese joke. But I was going to say, he watched the dub.
Yeah.
And I watched half dub, half sub.
That's fucking
or half, cool. Yeah, in that order, yeah.
I did that for another anime that we watched / are watching.
Yeah.
Soon, too.
So Reagan's special moves are so funny.
Yeah.
Like, because all of them are just regular things. Like, one of them's giving a massage.
Yeah. Actually, the note that I have on that one is because, clearly Reagan's like an imposter, right? Because he's not a real Esper.
Yeah.
So then my question in episode 2, I wrote, is Reagan just a massage therapist who just decided to break into this field? Like, that's what I was wondering about.
For the first couple episodes, you only see him use one of his special moves to punch with salt.
Oh, yeah.
And everything besides that
it's not an attack,
is like
really.
Is like acupuncture type shit.
Yeah.
Like massaging. It's not until like the very end of the season you see him like use his special moves in more fighting ways. Like,
yeah.
Like kicking, like the unexpected kick or punch or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, the whole special move is just punching somebody when they don't expect it.
And the guy was like, he reacts like he got hit really bad. He's like, oh! And he's like, wait,
that didn't hurt. Oh, that was in the first episode. Yeah. With table salt. He's like, you can't just use table salt, you idiot. Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah, the guy corrects him. He's like, you need like special sacred salt, not salt that you buy at the grocery store.
So fucking silly.
Oh my god. Wait, speaking of episode 2, before we go on.
Right.
The little summation of adolescence at the beginning just fucking blew my mind. Where what's his name?
They explain like how different kids approach adolescence, and you can go and find a girlfriend.
Exactly, and the different phases of adolescence. I was like, oh man, this is sick. But yeah, there's like the whole episode Mob's having like an existential crisis. And that's why at the end he decides to join the body improvement club because he thinks it's going to get him girls.
Right. And that was really cool because the spirit that he exercises is like, I was like you, I had trouble talking to girls.
He's like a virgin.
And then like one of the last things he said, he's like, are you living every day to the fullest or something like that? Like I love that they were trying to show these messages through it. And it was like perfect with that beginning that you were just talking about.
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah, that was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Also, wait, the whole time they were like ragging on that other club that I forgot. Wait,
telepathy club?
Yeah, the telepathy club. They're sitting there. But wait, like my question is there something valuable to wasting time and eating snacks and playing video games? Like I think it's a beautiful thing.
I loved that was the point of the club.
I don't think that's a waste of youth. Maybe it's because that's all I know, but
yeah. No, I guess that's definitely like a point to be made in the show.
Yeah.
It's really cool, just the people just fucking off playing Nintendo DS.
Yeah.
That's essentially just what they were doing.
Yeah.
That was really good.
The Going Home Club. I love how that's a club. Yeah. But yeah, one thing I should bring up is like the senpai kohai relationship that the show has, which is just like the one in Mob Psycho almost. Mm-hmm. Or sorry, I mean One Punch Man.
Kind of.
Like it's not just like it, it's like the inverse.
Yeah. Because the teacher isn't nearly as capable as the student.
Yeah. Whereas like in One Punch Man it's like Saitama who's the master is like the fucking best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has the dopey face.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like the interesting Yeah, they actually have like similar faces, like their eyes.
They're
Oh, it's
both
the
very
same
sleepy.
face, yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
same face.
It's just the same face.
Yeah.
Just one's on a...
Yeah, because like on one hand, you're kind of thinking like, how can Mob be so blind to not see that Reagan has no ability?
Yeah.
But then I think that was like important to just remember that he's just a kid, right? That was like, I guess, why they have that whole like adolescence.
Exactly,
thing.
yeah. It's because he's just a kid. And honestly, I just finished the anime today. So I saw the last 2 episodes today because I was trying to avoid watching it in sub. I wanted to finish the whole show in dub.
God.
I don't like the tone in which you say it, I gotta say. But like parts of it, especially near the end, were like heartbreaking, dude, but in like a good way.
Oh, yeah.
Like seeing the admiration that Mob has in his eyes
He worships
for Reagan. Yeah,
Yeah.
he worships him. And
Even for
especially
his brother.
yeah,
We'll get to
that
in a second,
that was good too. But Reagan, like the whole show is pretty much just about his relationship with Reagan. If you really think about it,
Yeah.
it's about how Mob had nobody else to turn to, so he goes to Reagan, and Reagan just treats him as like his son, or like he just gives him somebody to look up to. It almost has nothing to do with the fact that it's about his powers. It doesn't have to do with being an esper. It just has to do with being a role model.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, even though Reagan's kind of a deadbeat, cheapskate, fucking asshole who's conning people out of their money, at the end of the day, he's like a good person, and he took Mob in.
Yeah, see,
When Mob when he discovered his powers, he's like, God, I'm a freak. I don't know what to do. I'm just gonna go to the nearest like psychic and see if they can help me out. And this guy's actually helpful for Mob. So that was cool to see.
Right. It reminds me of the trope you see in a lot of movies or shows or video games where like the old character who's an asshole and doesn't care about society finds like a kid or a dog and they like bond with it and like treat it really right. And they're like, I found love again through this child or through this dog.
Right.
And I can live again. But in this, Reagan finds love through this kid, but he's still using the kid.
Yeah.
It's like he's still treating him kind of like shit.
Still pays him nothing.
Yeah.
Still
pretty
illegally employs him.
and that, well, like in the first episode, he's completely like, you don't see the other dimensions to Reagan, right? He is just like this deadbeat kind of like taking advantage of Mob, and it's only later that you come to
you see him
that
as
he's
less
like
of an asshole.
actually like a wise person, right? And he's like looking out for Mob, and he's trying to like, craft him into a really good person. There's actually a really funny bit which actually kind of summarizes this kind of balancing act of Reagan's character when Mob is fighting the blonde kid. I can't remember the blonde kid's name.
Teru. We should talk
Teru,
about him after
we'll talk
this.
about that in a second. And I think Dimple, the little green spirit
genie,
who's falling,
yep.
is like, why don't you fight him? And then Mob kind of launches into this like speech
like,
like,
you shouldn't
we
use your
shouldn't use this
powers.
on people.
Yeah,
and he like
yeah.
says all this like really profound stuff. And he says that Reagan told him.
That's good.
And then Dimple's like, wow, that means a lot less knowing that Reagan told
yeah, it's like a big,
Yeah.
like over the top speech, and then it's all undercut by
Yeah,
the fact that
that
it's
it was Reagan,
It's
yeah.
funny because you're kind of thinking that the
Yeah.
whole time he's saying it, and then he says it, and it's like, yep.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. One thing I want to bring this up now so we can actually talk about the show because I feel like we've been dancing around this.
Yeah, because it's been
yeah.
almost 20 minutes.
Yeah,
shit.
and this is why I connect with the show so much, and it's like reinvigorated what I love about anime in a way. Is the whole idea of emotion in the show and how you like express emotion. Because this whole show to me, besides like the relationship with Reagan and Mob, is Mob suppressing his emotions.
Yeah.
It's very obvious.
It's because
Yeah.
he can't express them because of his powers. They're like, because as soon as he gets emotional, shit hits the fucking fan.
well, like
Right, yeah, any kind of outward expression,
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's like he has to keep himself at like a constant like 0,
right.
or else he might spiral out of control almost.
Like, I get what you're saying. I wouldn't say that like he's consciously holding his emotions back.
oh,
Yeah, I
no,
don't
he's
think
like
so either.
naturally,
He's
naturally dead.
Exactly,
But
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
symptom of like his
Yeah.
powers. If he
Oh, yeah, for
wasn't a
sure.
psychic, then that wouldn't be the case,
Like
I don't think.
that's
But
something that I super connected with. It's like not expressing your emotions,
being able to
and have it like get pent up
Pent up.
inside. Yeah,
fucking explode.
and talk about the count, like the count,
count
up
ups?
meter.
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the show, like
Yeah.
percent like 1 to
That was
100.
sick.
That's incredible.
I was so on the edge of my seat the first time we saw any counting up, which I'm pretty sure was like right off the bat. It's like Mob's like meter to explosion or whatever. It's like I was like, what's gonna happen when it hits 100?
At first, it's
Yeah.
so slow. I figured
then
that it
it-
would take the whole series.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
It's like this is
Yeah.
gonna be like a big end game thing,
Yeah.
but then it happens right away, and I don't remember which emotion
It happens
was.
during the fight with Taru, or whatever his name
That
is.
was the first time it
Taru,
happened.
Yeah.
I remember one of the first instances. I don't know if it was it probably isn't the first time, but at the end of the first episode, when him and Reagan are going out for ramen or something, Reagan's like, you can only get like 2 pieces of pork or something,
yeah.
and you see the plates, and Reagan has like 5.
He has like 6,
and then
yeah.
Mob counters.
Such a bastard.
Mob counter goes up.
Oh, his counter goes up?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah.
Because, like, me, that's what made me connect with the show.
Yeah.
I fucking love that,
No,
honestly.
I like that it was a different emotion every time, too. It's not like every single time he hits 100, it's the same
Right.
like power that comes out or whatever.
Yeah.
It's always a different
Yeah.
sort of facet.
And there was a lot of instances like the flashback, or sorry, when it had to do with his brother, you saw the counter jumped up a lot higher. Like
Right.
it was everyday things that could affect him, but then there were these big moments that like
Right.
Yeah, right. It's like every time it hits close to home,
Yeah.
his meter jumps up a bunch.
Yeah.
Right.
Can we talk about Teru?
Yeah, I think we should talk about, like, the rest of the cast. Especially, like, the gang of Espers that join Mob, which starts with Teru.
Oh yeah, right.
Right.
One thing I gotta
was
say
just
is
calling him
that-
Blondie because I couldn't remember his name. Like on my
Right.
notes, like
One thing
Yeah.
I gotta say is that I really appreciate how every member of the main crew has, like, a whole arc. They have, like,
Yeah.
a whole story arc per character.
Yeah,
Just fucking really cool.
that was good.
Yeah.
Wait, which crew are you talking about? Are you talking about the
I'm
people
talking
that
about,
Teru
like,
met, or the people that the brother met?
The fucking
The people that
Justice
the
League.
brother met don't matter.
Yeah,
I wrote
Okay.
this
I'm
down.
talking about, like, Mob's crew by the time of the final episode, like the 5 people, including the Spirit dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I'm talking about Mob, Teru, his brother,
and Dimple.
Dimple, and Reagan.
Yeah,
As part of the crew.
Yeah, true.
So we can start with Teru. Teru, right? I'm saying that?
Teru. I think
Yeah.
so. I'm pretty sure.
Teru, yeah.
God,
So-
that fight was
That does sound
so funny, dude. Top of hair percent. 0.
Yeah,
Yes.
0. But the thing is, like, it wasn't just funny. It was, like, really
Oh, it was
intense. Like,
intense. Yeah.
dude, in this series, part of what makes the action so good is watching Mob get the shit kicked out of him.
Oh,
Is
yeah,
like
and then
watching
he
somebody
doesn't-
you love just
'Cause he's-
fucking die.
Because he's such
Yeah.
an innocent character,
Yeah.
and he just gets wrecked, and
Yeah.
then he doesn't fight back at all. But you know he's not fighting back because if he did, he'd just obliterate them, which he
Right.
does.
He does, yeah.
Yeah. Oh god, with Teru, it's nuts seeing like the other side of the coin. It's like this is what Mob could be if he was like a normal kind of teenager almost, where
Yeah.
he gets swept up in his emotions and he thinks like, I'm the main character of this story.
Yeah, I
because it's-
love that line. Teru
Yeah.
actually says that I'm the main character.
Yeah.
I wrote that down
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
which I thought was brilliant. Like he's a foil for Mob in that scene, I guess.
Yeah. And then he
They're,
gets...
they're
yeah.
both interesting characters because they both come from the same place. Like, they both are nothing outside of their powers.
Exactly.
It's not like Mob's brother, who has, like, all these other things. Like, he's good at sports, he's good at
But
school.
he feels inadequate
Yeah.
because he doesn't have
exactly.
the same powers as Mob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like both these guys only have their Esper powers, but Teru is, like, really heavily dependent on them. Like, it's what he is. He becomes cool through them.
Yeah. And he
And
like
it's-
kind of cheats his way through everything.
Yeah.
with
Right, and that's when Mob kind of delivers the speech about like not using your powers and not abusing them. So it's like if Mob didn't have,
He also really cuts him down to size
Reagan,
because
right?
he's speaking from his own worldview. He's like, you're an insignificant piece of shit, because that's how Mob feels about himself.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, damn, that's heavy, but it's like you put him in his place.
Yeah.
With Mob, his brother, and Terry, you kind of see like three sides of this like central concept of like being special and having powers.
And Reagan.
And I guess Reagan.
Like, not really. I'm joking, but, like, kind of, though.
Kind of. Yeah, just because they all have their unique take on it. And they all have their like flaws too. It's not like any one of them has the right way to go about being quote unquote special.
Right.
Like, yeah.
It is crazy, though, to realize that, like, Reagan is the most wise.
It's just because
Yeah,
like the
it's just-
oldest, he's an adult.
But
That's the thing.
but it's more than that though. Right?
It is more
kinda
than that.
Does
Yeah,
show,
it's
like,
especially at the
in
end.
the final
yeah.
episodes, there are other adults,
yeah,
but they're
yeah,
not
yeah.
wise.
They're fucking,
He even makes a note of that.
Yeah.
He socks it to him. He
Yeah.
gives him
Fucking destroys them.
cut and dry.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I was gonna say, it's like, I made a note about this. That's the only that was the most amazing ending that there could have been, because they didn't take the vanilla route and just have a big epic battle at the end. They could have done that. They did that in fucking One Punch Man, but they didn't this time. He literally had a rational conversation with everybody to pull them out of their delusion.
What I thought
that was the finale.
That was interesting.
I thought it was going to end with the very beginning of this series, which I don't know if you guys remember. You're witnessing like the spirit dude beat the shit out of all these monsters. I thought that was Mob in the last episode, but they showed you a bit of it in the first episode, but it didn't end up being that.
Kind of thing. See, I was very confused by that. Initially, I was like, okay, this is cool. I wonder where this is going. And then I kind of forgot about it.
Right.
I didn't even consider it like a loose end that they didn't tie up.
It was an interesting opening story because it honestly did nothing personally for me for getting me interested. It was just a bunch of like useless action with people I didn't know or care about.
Yeah, because we're not invested
honestly, like
at that
actually
point.
People weren't even in it, if I believe. It was just like energy light beams. And
I gotta
some
be
guy
honest, I don't even
who,
remember
like,
this.
vaguely looked like an energy dude. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this was like this was like the
scene.
very first
I
scene.
don't remember.
That's the thing. It's not. I mean, it's colorful and it's pretty and it's flashy, but it's not memorable in the sense that there's like any kind of weight in it as of now. Anyways, I figured we'd probably be seeing more of that maybe when he exploded or something when he hit 100. But
one thing I want to talk about is what happens to Teru after he's defeated by Mob, which is becoming essentially like this weird like carefree hippie character.
With
not
4 feet of hair.
Well, yeah, okay, with 4 feet of hair. That part is like
That's
important.
The funniest fucking.
And then I think it shows his hair is like 150% or something.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's funny in like a humor way. It's not important.
Yeah,
but it's just really cool to see like his total worldview change. That in comparison to the worldview of Mob's brother changing.
Yeah,
like how Mob's brother is just becoming more and more like sinister and evil and doing these things, and that's how he taps into his Esper power.
Right.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, this other dude is like, yo, you gotta chill out. Like, I was like you once, but now I'm like, I'm born again, you know? Like, it's fucking great.
Yeah.
That was really cool to me. Like, especially like the duality between the two ways to be an Esper is definitely shown there. Like, between Taru and the brother.
And his brother,
Yeah, it's definitely really cool.
Yep, that was smart. It's a very cool way to go about it. What else?
Did you guys expect Mob's brother to become like a big character at all? Because
no.
I didn't.
See, that's the thing. It's like
no,
I didn't think. Okay, first of all, it blew my mind that he was like jealous of Mob and whatever, because even in like the first few episodes, Mob has only like good things to say about his brother. All of their interactions are like super friendly. Like his brother's like, oh, is anything bothering you? If something's bothering you, you can always talk to me, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So I was like, oh, this is just like another smart, like supporting character who's just gonna kind of chill in the background and help our protagonist along his journey. But then all of a sudden it's like snap to fucking him being jealous and like brooding and like silently resenting Mob, and I was like, what the fuck?
There was that whole thing like, we didn't fight his brothers because I knew I couldn't fight. Like we couldn't fight. Like,
it's like, so that kind of threw me for a loop. I was like, whoa, where did this come
I'd see
from?
that as like what it's like to be someone like Mob who has these powers but doesn't have the moral compass of Reagan to tell you like, don't use these in that way, you're not special. Like that's there's like, oh god, the show is so interesting because it's showing you the idea of an Esper and showing you all the ways it can go wrong in like a youth.
You guys are making me like the show more than
because like the show is fucking
Dylan, it's
sick.
It's
dude.
actually like it shows you almost every route that it could possibly go. It's like, hey, here's Mob. If that's not the way you want to look at it, then here's not Reagan, but here's Taru. Here's the brother.
Yeah.
Here's Reagan, who's like a
fucking
powerless
idiot.
bitch and an idiot, but he's like really, really good at coaching Mob, and that's what Mob needs.
Yeah. And interestingly, when we see the brother come up as a character, a more fleshed out character, that's when Reagan kind of drops off, because there's like a couple episodes that Reagan's not even in.
Yeah.
or like is barely in, right? He kind of like drops off like
Exactly.
toward, like the end mid,
That's
and then
why-
he comes back for episode 10.
He goes away for the whole stuff where Mob's brothers.
Yeah,
become
yeah,
everything.
like
Yeah, once
episode
Mob's
6.
brothers, it's like once that like B plot comes in,
Yeah.
it, like Reagan kind of drops off for a
That's
bit.
why the return of
and then
Reagan
him coming back
is
is
amazing.
like that's exactly what I was going to.
He comes in
next. Like,
and he's like, he goes to like the agency of all these like espers.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm your boss.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That
Can
was
we talk
amazing.
about the Justice League Part 2? Fucking.
Oh, you're
except
talking about
it's
how like One
the-
Punch Man did a Justice
yeah,
League,
the
and this
inverse
is like,
Justice League,
Yeah.
except it's the League of Villains this time. And
Yeah.
they're led by Psycho Mantis.
Oh yeah, some guy who looks like Psycho Mantis. Psycho Mantis is a villain from Metal Gear Solid 1.
And
okay.
he's also an Esper.
And he has a gas mask and all that shit. And he's an Esper, actually, yeah. Holy shit. Some fucking Metal Gear
Someone
references
loves
in there then.
Kojima.
How did Reagan know to be there? Like they didn't explain that. He just
I don't
shows
know.
up.
That's why I thought
I
at first.
didn't rewatch that episode. I haven't rewatched the last two because I had to
They
watch
don't
them.
explain it.
Yeah. But
I-
like from what I
legit-
guessed is that he has his phone open when he's in the car,
Yeah.
right? I guess that he has a tracker in Mob's cell phone.
Something like that, because like I legit
Oh.
thought at first I was like, "Wait, is he actually the boss of this place?"
Well, the weird thing is that the previous episode before they show Reagan is because Reagan
The
always
ending.
does the voiceover.
yeah.
At the ending for the next
Right.
episode, and then there's like a line,
Yeah.
I guess in Japanese, but it's like, "I'm sorry, Mob, I didn't tell you."
Yeah,
Or it's like next
exactly.
episode we meet the boss. "I'm sorry, Mob, I didn't tell
Yeah.
you."
Yeah,
so
that's
like,
exactly
is Reagan
it.
the boss? Like, I
was
don't
like, oh,
understand.
fuck. Yeah.
And I wasn't sure how I felt about that. I'm glad that he wasn't the boss because it wouldn't really make. I don't know how
It wouldn't make
It wouldn't
sense,
have
no.
made sense.
No, not at all. But
So I'm
he,
glad that he was just playing it up.
he
at the end.
bullshits so beautifully,
Yeah.
so proficiently that he convinces everybody until the very end.
Yeah, the sequence of Reagan convincing them and then walking through the building and like freeing those people
Oh man,
is like great.
I was in tears. I was laughing so hard. That was amazing.
So I just realized I wrote down a note about the fight scenes in the show, and I know
Yeah.
we already talked about it. What I wrote here is, this may have some of the best action scenes I've ever seen in an anime.
Fully agree.
Huh.
Fully
Yeah.
agree. Fully backed.
Especially, like, they don't shy away from showing, like, children bleeding.
Oh,
Think of,
yeah,
like, an
like-
American show showing shit like this. Like, you'd
Yeah.
never see that.
Oh god, yeah,
Like,
jeez.
yeah, especially I wrote down episode 8, the fight in the alleyway between the brothers and everything
Oh,
is
yeah.
insane. The
Oh
action
my
in that
God.
scene is unreal.
When that guy with does he have a mohawk? I don't even remember. He had a
the
really
guy in the
shitty
hood,
hairstyle.
yeah,
the hood
The,
man.
like, old Esper dude.
Fucking crushed Mob.
One thing I want to bring up is the bonus bits at the end of each episode where Reagan talks directly to the viewer and he's like, you know what would be good? Watching the anime live.
Oh
Yeah,
my
like-
god!
yeah.
Yup.
Torrenting this anime is a sin.
Cursed for 100 years. It's like,
I wrote down.
So
yeah,
good.
I wrote down a
you guys,
couple of them.
if you don't watch the show in a dub, you gotta watch the ending bonus bits in dub because they're fucking hilarious.
but they were hilarious in
Reagan's
Japanese.
voice actor,
They were good in both, but
Yeah.
I've got to say, the Reagan's voice actor in the dub is amazing.
So
Like,
is
probably-
Mob's.
very good.
Dude, the dub.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
If there's anybody
just, I mean,
listening to this,
comedy-wise.
if there's anybody listening to this that doubts dubs, please, for like the sake of me, imagine me as like Jesus Christ looming over your shoulder. Just give it a shot with Mob. Mob is pinnacle dub.
Yeah,
Amazing.
The dub is
I
good.
feel like that's a valid statement. I feel like more and more, especially like with newer anime, it's like the dub isn't nearly as bad as
Yeah.
some of the classic.
Well, like I wouldn't even
anime.
say nearly as bad. I would say
It's good.
Fantastic.
I can hang.
yeah,
You've mentioned this. It's like I got into anime watching dubs,
exactly. Yeah.
but at some point I switched over, and then it's been hard coming back. But
Mhm. I think
What are
I'll
we doing?
always want the dub just because, like we've talked about this.
Yeah.
Like, just getting to just watch and not have to read
or think
is
about
better.
It, yeah.
And when the actors are good, you're more engrossed in it. Like
Yeah.
just because you can understand it's your language.
That's
right?
the only thing I'm wary about.
And honestly,
Yeah.
Some of the shit
every
doesn't
anime
translate
I've
amazing.
watched, like recently, especially in recent years, since since the time of the first Full Metal Alchemist anime, has had amazing dubs.
yeah,
like, just
yeah.
Amazing, not even okay.
Full Metal Alchemist is one of those animes that are like definitely.
Full Metal Alchemist is one of those animes that
I'd watch the dub
surpasses
over the sub. without a
yeah.
doubt. Yeah,
Right, yeah. The thing is, like, as long as there's that thought in your mind, you gotta open up to there being
Yeah.
more like that.
Our boy
there
Vic
are
Mignogna.
more, yeah. Vic fucking Mig.
So I wrote down what some of them were because at the end.
end.
Thing. So episode 4 was
There's option A, B, and C. Don't
like,
forget
oh
that.
yeah, it's
something like Blu-ray,
Blu-ray
another
disc.
excellent decision. And then like episode 5 was something about like, oh, First Press Limited, that is the absolute best decision. Like,
Oh man,
Yeah.
I just found it funny when they brought up torrenting and they were like cursed for a million years or whatever.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
like,
you can be cursed. Yeah.
because it's like every time it just gets progressively
Yeah.
better. It's like first press collectible edition, amazing. It's like okay,
And then episode 11, which is Mob does it instead of Reagan. Because
Yeah.
Reagan's dad.
dies, yeah.
And then it's like watching the finale in real time is an excellent decision.
Yeah, that was great.
Oh god, yep, that's good.
Now at the end, does Reagan like? So Reagan gets powers, like temporary
Right.
powers
Temporary, they're gone.
from Mob.
He like sucks them in through Mob.
But I mean, they do say it because he at the end he can still see Dimple, and he says like, "Oh, that's the only thing
Yeah, some kind of
that's happening." So I'm
residual
wondering,
effect.
could Reagan potentially
yeah,
No.
that was like
develop or something in the
I
future?
think-
Just because we thought the brother had nothing,
right.
like it seemed he had nothing. So I was wondering about that, like. If there's something left in Reagan, could those powers?
I
come
feel
back?
like it
that's
would-
for like next.
Honestly,
series.
I wouldn't be surprised if it went either way, but I could see them giving Reagan slowly more like
yeah.
Esper powers.
Here's the thing: I feel like that would suck all the comedy out of it. I feel
He
like
kicked
Reagan wouldn't
ass when he
be.
got powers.
The thing is,
He
like,
did,
like in
but
a
I feel like
yeah.
he wouldn't be as goofy if he didn't have.
yeah.
his,
Maybe it was
like-
special. It was good because it was just that
Yeah,
one scene, but
and
if
then-
it continued,
But the thing is, I see this anime as like a very limited series, and I could see Reagan having powers for like the last season or like the last couple episodes of
Yeah.
this
Maybe the
whole
last
series as a
couple
whole.
episodes,
Yeah.
I would buy that. But I feel like longer than that might kind of defeat some of his character.
I could
like,
even see
purpose.
like some episodes, like an episode arc of like 2 or 3 episodes where Mob is like teaching Reagan some tricks.
Mhm.
Like when he finally finds out that he's like a sham in like the Esper power
do you
field.
think
I
that
feel like
Mob will
that can't
find
happen.
out, or do
No.
you think Reagan will come up with some lie?
Not at all.
That's like
I
I
think-
lost my powers
think
or
that
something like
can't
that.
happen
I think
at all.
we've surpassed that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like right now, Mob's it's like pure admiration. It doesn't
It's like worship.
like
There's
I'd say it doesn't matter like story wise whether or not Mob finds out because his admiration is like it overpowers that too
Right.
much. Yeah.
I think actually they reference something that he's not. I misspoke earlier, but it's like even Mob says that he's not an Esper. He's a
Like a spiritual.
Oh, he's
spiritual. Yeah, he's spiritual powers, not telekinetic powers.
Yeah, yeah.
Something like
oh
that.
god.
So
That's
stupid.
like his
Yeah.
way of like playing it. It's like
And I love it that he could like, oh, if they're too weak, I can't see them.
Yeah. That's so good. Holy shit.
Fucking wild. Fucking great. What else is good? Let's see.
One thing I want to mention is that the whole school gang warfare started to remind me of Durarara a
a
little bit.
bit.
Like it's
Oh,
like that,
God.
but with a sense of humor.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like all the gangs all
Yeah.
are like funny and jokey, but like, and they're all fighting each
they
other
have
and
different
shit.
leaders and
Different
shit,
leaders,
different,
yeah.
like stupid names.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the notes I wrote down was, does every school have a gang? Like that's like a gang
Japan,
that
yeah.
represents them too. It's not
Yeah.
even just like a couple gangs in school. It's like, this is our school's gang. They're like another club.
Oh
It's
wait,
weird.
You know what shot I love? I love the shot of Mob running in like the beating sunlight, trying to catch up to the rest of the body.
Oh
Improvement
yeah,
Club.
like always just covered
They-
in
Is that when
sweat.
it says
They
stamina
reuse-
0%? Or is that
I
that
think
time? Because
they-
there's a couple.
they
shots
do it
of
a
that,
bunch of
yeah.
They
times.
reuse the shot of him running
At
in like the
end.
last episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. When they're like, "Where is he?" Oh,
Also,
he's
wait,
with
can I
the-
bring something up before I forget?
What? Yeah, go.
In the last episode, at the very end, when Mob is with Reagan and they're going through the forest,
And they're finding like some weird mythical snake and looking
Yeah.
for mushrooms and shit.
Yeah.
yeah, but the art style looks like a comic book. They use like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
dotted
yeah.
color. Like, what was up with that? What
I
do you
don't
think
know.
that is?
Yeah.
I feel like
yeah.
that's just like almost bonus content. It's
I was
like an
thinking, like, yeah,
epilogue, kind
maybe
of.
it's showing that like their relationship just went back to being what it was.
Yeah,
like, hey, it's a
it's just
monster
like-
of the day. Let's go capture this thing and get our reward. And then
Exactly,
it was showing
yeah.
that like life went back to its cycle,
and it's all
somewhat.
just like lighthearted,
Right.
and dumb.
Yeah.
shit. And it's like
like they faced a big thing to overcome, and now it's like over. They're back to usual.
I just
Yeah.
I loved how they wrapped that up, and I feel like the pacing was amazing. But it was done by like halfway through the episode, and I feel like that chunk more or less is just like filler. It's
The
just kinda
conclusion was very long.
like, yeah. Well,
Or like the. Yeah. that what you're
Oh
getting
yeah,
at, right?
because like they wrap up the conflict in the last episode around halfway through.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's what you're getting at, and it was just so long.
There's so much
like
space left, and then
long.
they're like, oh, after the fact, here's what everyone's doing. Life goes back to normal. Yada yada. Let's go hunt a mythical snake. It's
Right.
Yeah,
it's just kind of shoehorned in there, but I mean, like, it's just fun and dumb. It's like I don't really care.
I like how in the final episode, the closest Mob gets to like his dreams, which is like being popular, like being something other than being an Esper, is going to school, looking at his crush, and being like, "Oh, she's extra beautiful today."
Oh my god! The fact that the girls around her have vegetables for heads.
Oh my god!
funniest
Yeah, that's great.
I wrote that down too.
Wait,
that's so good.
I just want to mention that the city is called Seasoning City.
Oh
they
my
go,
God.
they go to,
Every
like,
high
Salt
school
High School
Is like Paprika High School or
Yeah.
like fucking like everyone's a different like
It's really
spice.
so weird. Yeah.
Oh
My God. And yeah, the girls have
amazing.
vegetable heads.
Yeah,
Fuck if that isn't true to whoever you have a crush on.
Yeah,
just like
seriously.
see all
yeah,
the-
nothing else matters.
buckets surrounding them.
I
It's like,
love
nope.
that. I
Yeah,
love
that's
that.
amazing.
Fucking eggplant.
Man, it's insane how the art style of Mob compared to his brother. It's like his brother looks so much cooler.
Oh yeah, he's
But
got
they're
like
just
he's got like Goku
They
hair.
might as well be the same, but his brother just looks so much cooler with his hair. Yeah.
It's like that whole thing that we talked about with One Punch Man. Like I said, I never realized how important hair was to being cool, right? And you just see.
I noticed like his brother
yeah.
when he's doing the prison break and he like gets the three guards locked or like outside of their cell
in the blind spot.
in the blind spot of the camera, and then he like flings them against the wall. His hair does like some Super Saiyan thing for like a
Yeah.
second, and I was like, "That's dope. That's fucking cool."
Yeah.
I
Wait,
missed hair.
here's the thing though.
Hair is
It's
important.
like Mob's like typical mushroom cut blows up into crazy Super Saiyan shit when he's like at 100%.
Right.
And he's got fucking psychic power flowing around and sending his hair all different directions. Then he looks cool. But 99% of the time, he's just 99% of the time he's just got a dumb bowl cut and he's just hanging out.
Yeah.
Also, wait, before we completely leave the topic of the high schools and the gangs and shit like that,
Right.
in episode 6, which was a bit more of a focus on the brother, and it was the return of Dimple at the end.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah.
One huge benefit to watching the sub
Right.
is you got to hear the whole class yell hentai in unison. It's
What?
when
Oh no! I started watching the dub at episode 7 because I did the first 6 in dub and then the last 7 sub. Yeah,
it's great. That's
Wait,
because
why do they yell hentai?
that's when the gang leader gets set up
and
Yeah,
they call
yeah.
him a pervert.
They call him a
So in the
pervert.
dub,
Oh,
they're
but
calling
in
him a
dub-
They all
pervert.
call him a hentai, and he like slides between some girl's legs and sees her panties, and he
Yeah.
disintegrates. And then
Oh
they're all
shit!
like, hentai, and it's like fucking.
I wouldn't have even realized that hentai is
Fucking
like
great.
synonymous for pervert in Japanese.
Oh man. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
like just as
That's like
as a Westerner sitting
Yeah,
there
yeah.
and just watching
that's fucking
just
crazy.
hearing a chorus of hentai,
hentai. Yeah,
is really really funny.
maybe I'll watch that section over.
You
Yeah.
should. It's well worth it. Yeah, that's all I have to say
I think
about that.
I watched the anime. I watched the anime twice in dub. The last 2 episodes not. I'm gonna rewatch them when they're released as dub.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I think
watch
you
the
should
last
watch them as dub, especially
Maybe
if
I
you're
will.
like
I'll go back
if you're
'cause I
aching.
love
Yeah,
this.
exactly, right.
I'd love to watch it over.
And
again.
honestly, the voice actor for Mob makes me want to cry when I see that kid getting punched. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh god, it tears at the heartstrings. This
Yeah.
kid's like so sweet. Fuck.
as long as he's able to deliver that,
Yeah.
I'm fine.
100%.
that's the key here.
Is there like something to be said about the show saying that like adults can't be espers? Like even the adults that are espers in the show are
well, they're,
like
like,
childlike
characters.
Like, Reagan says like, yeah.
Why are
these
you
guys
wearing that? It's like,
Yeah. Like
who put that on your forehead?
what purpose does that does that have? What are these shoulder pads? They protect my shoulders.
yeah.
Yeah, there's that. There's also like the big boss, which they allude to in a phone call, is an adult.
Oh,
but
yeah.
the guy who works for HQ, who takes down like the final
The-
boss,
the
of the
redhead
Redhead
kid?
is
Yeah.
a kid. Yeah,
Yeah, he's just
so
got,
it's like
like, a
they're kind of like
jacket
saying
on.
like
That's
the
his
most
dad.
powerful people. Wait, is it his
That's
dad?
his dad.
It's his
yeah.
dad. Yeah.
It's his dad, or was he just calling him dad as like a form of like authority figure?
Does anyone call their authority figures dad?
I mean,
I assume it's his dad.
I think it's.
oh,
his
dude,
dad.
that's not what popped in my head at all. You guys are probably right, but that's not what I was thinking at all. I was just thinking like,
Yes, father.
yes, father. Of course, father. Yeah,
Oh,
Maybe.
God.
almost like some sort of like Full Metal Alchemist
homunculi?
situation.
Oh man,
where like yes, he was the father.
but
You are
Spoilers.
the father.
who knows, man? Oh, whoops! Full Metal spoilers.
Maury spoilers.
Bam, bam, bam.
They're all
Yeah.
the father. Oh my god.
Good stuff. What else? We're just looking through our notes.
Wait, what was I
here.
just talking about? I totally forgot.
Wait.
Guys.
Oh
no. I feel like I was onto something, but probably not. I probably finished
maybe.
Oh yeah, the kids being espers thing.
Oh yeah,
like,
right.
are they saying that like kids are the most powerful espers? Maybe like
Kids
who
are
knows?
the future. They're the future.
No,
Some
I don't just mean that. I mean,
deeper
like,
meaning.
what if there's like when Mob grows up, he's going to become less of a powerful esper as he grows up? I know they didn't like hint to that in the show, but like, what if that's a thing?
Well,
what
that's
if
interesting.
the more you mature, like, you can't tap into that power anymore? Not that I think they're ever going to get to that in the show. They're probably not going to let Mob age, obviously.
Yeah, we're.
But like,
yeah.
isn't like? Do you think like I
like
don't know
part of the lore?
Yeah, like I don't know.
That would
kids
be
are strong.
interesting.
But those guys at the end are stronger,
strong,
but they
yeah.
act like kids. So maybe that's just showing you
Wait,
what it could
yeah,
be like
wait,
if
hold
you
on.
don't have someone like
Unless it's saying,
Reagan, right? That's what I read
like
from
fucking
it. Yeah.
Psycho Mantis is an old man. I thought he was a girl the whole time.
Yeah,
So did one of the other henchmen. He's like, I thought he could have been a girl.
yeah.
But like, what if
He's
it's
really
saying,
strong.
What if it's
so-
saying that them like holding on to like their childish mindset didn't let them like, or like
Oh,
they could
true.
only retain the Esper power because they were holding on to their childish mindset and didn't
mean,
grow up.
Yeah.
maybe
Something like that.
I think it's
That could
because
be
they
neat.
didn't have someone like Reagan, right? And it seemed like for
Right.
the most part they were all outcasts
Yes, yeah.
or something like Mob was.
Maybe if Reagan was a child, he could have tapped into his Esper powers, but now
Yeah.
he's too old.
I think
I'm just
yeah.
looking around. I don't
even
know.
as a child, he would have been like a hustler. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
he,
yeah,
He doesn't have the innocence to be an Esper.
yeah.
Oh wait, that's wrong. Not all Espers are innocent.
Yeah,
Bunch
that's
of them are
definitely
dicks.
true. Haru wasn't innocent.
Yeah, no, he was a. But see, that's the thing.
He got the Marge Simpson.
I'm so glad
hair.
his wig got fixed at the end. Like
Yeah.
it
So
cut off
good.
some. Like,
No.
someone said like you look better now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
they
it goes
did.
back to normal.
As soon as it got cut off, I'm like, holy shit, he looks like Naruto.
Yeah, 'cause it's all spiky and
Yeah.
yellow. I love how when he's jumping around, it flies with him and kind of
Yeah.
wobbles around. He has to
Yeah.
like adjust it as he's like jumping
I love
around
when they
doing his, like,
reintroduce
stuff.
him into the show.
Oh,
and
there's,
the
like, people
camera's like
looking at
cutting
him?
off the top of his head the
Yeah.
whole time.
Yeah.
And all these girls are like, oh my god, he's
His
so
hair.
hot.
Yeah.
It's fucking Marge Simpson, man. We
Oh,
don't have the
God.
Simpsons over there.
He looks like an idol,
not in their universe.
like a beautiful 4 foot tall hair idol.
Yeah, it's fucking funny. I didn't expect Dimple to become a huge part of the show either.
Oh yeah,
Jesus
I thought he was
Christ.
just gonna die. Dimple's really funny though. I like Dimple.
Dimple's great. Yeah,
That was well. I didn't expect him to become a part of the show, and then he was part of the show, and then he died, and I was like, wait,
And
what?
he came back. Yeah,
I didn't expect him to come back. Like I
Yeah.
thought,
Yeah.
that was it.
It's because like Teru fucking obliterated him to like a molecular level, and then he like slowly
Yeah.
built himself back.
Dimple's one of those characters that every episode I was like, I don't mind if this guy dies.
Yeah,
I really don't
it's-
care.
it's fine.
But
He
then
just
by
says,
the
like-
end of it, or even before the end, I'm like, yeah, this guy's like part of the crew. He's like the
yeah.
He
the
says he's
fourth
like the,
or fifth member.
the dirty old man.
Yeah.
Who just like
Yeah.
sits in the background and says awful shit.
The funny, I was just going to bring that up. The fact that you said he's a dirty old man. When Dimple dies, then it like does a flashback of Mob remembering Dimple, and then there's like a bunch of memories. And then the last one is like, damn, she sure got a nice ass. It's like talking about the girl that Mob
Yeah.
likes. Like,
That's so funny. Also, wait, can we talk about how Dimple won the battle in that jar full of like
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
How?
With
What?
like demons and
Yeah.
monsters
Yeah.
and shit.
I think there might even be a point in the series, I might be forgetting this, it might have been the last 2 episodes.
Possibly.
Have somebody saying like, yeah, and we have Dimple on her side, and Dimple's like, but I'm an evil spirit. or something like that. Like, I don't know if that's how it happens, but I kind of remember that
Shit,
happening.
yeah.
I
It's
don't
pretty funny.
remember, but I believe that.
Yeah. But I'm an evil spirit.
It's like, yeah, but what's Dimple really going to do? Except start a
Yeah.
cult.
Right,
That's
yeah.
no small feat.
yeah.
That Mob just went to because he wanted to be cool.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of the-
Oh my god, that was so good. As soon as the lady is like, so you're not popular, huh? It's like,
You become popular. Okay, let's go.
oh, yeah.
Actually,
let's go.
the Dub's delivery
Is
that
amazing, yeah.
nailed. He's like, okay, let's go. Just like the next thing, they're just in
Okay,
it.
let's go. Yeah.
And actually, another awesome moment in that scene, because whenever the narration cuts in, it's always hilarious. And usually it's about Reagan, right? Like, this is one of Reagan's special moves. And one of the things was Mob's trying to leave, and then like, wait, no, I'll challenge you to whoever can laugh first with the milk in their mouth.
Yeah.
Right? Whoever laughs first. And then the reporter girl, the high school girl, is like, why would he accept that? And then the narration's like, it just so happens that Mob likes milk.
That's the
so
only
stupid.
reason he
Yeah.
wants it. Doesn't matter.
Really likes milk. And he gets all this milk like spat on him, and then at the end of
just
the
doesn't
competition
care.
just like wipes it off and starts to
Yeah.
walk outside.
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck. No fucks given.
Should we talk about
Mob
expectations?
is the best character. He's the Gohan I always wanted and deserved. I want to see him grow up and become the Mr. fucking
Young Gohan was
Saiyaman.
great.
Oh my god.
And killing
Yeah.
Cell and stuff
Shit.
before he was...
All the
This
stuff
is
he
a new
did, like
episode.
killing Cell and watching his father die. Yeah. All the two things Gohan ever did. Yeah. God,
good
wait,
old
somebody was bringing
Gohan.
up something.
But Young Gohan was sick.
No, yeah, he's my favorite character in Dragon Ball.
Yeah, killing Cell, that... Well, anyway, that's another thing. That was a great series.
Yeah. Dragon
No?
Ball's better.
Oh,
than
no,
Dragon
wait.
Ball
No, sorry. I meant, Saga. That was a great
Oh,
saga.
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah,
Sorry,
sure, yeah.
the Cell Saga.
What were we talking about?
Anyway.
Were we at the end
sorry.
of the mob discussion?
I was
I
going
don't
to say
know.
expectations for next episode. This has been going on for a while.
Has it?
Yeah,
How
about
long
50
are we?
minutes.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
50.
fuck.
So,
Um,
closing thoughts on Mob. Anybody have anything to say?
Best anime. Fucking sick. Would watch again. Will watch again. You should watch it. If you haven't watched it, we've already ruined it for you. Go watch it.
It's still worth
Anyways,
it.
It's
Oh, if you haven't watched it, I think like our conversation is disjointed enough that you could still fully
Yeah.
Oh
appreciate it.
yeah. You know what?
Totally.
We're not doing it justice in describing it because
Yeah.
it is very much its own animal. Go watch that shit.
I got to
Soak
say,
it into your brain.
discussing with you guys definitely makes me appreciate Mob Psycho even more. Like, I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Right.
But initially, at the beginning of this episode, I said I liked One Punch Man. But just, I guess, everything we've talked about has made me really appreciate Mob a ton.
Right.
Yeah. Without
And,
a doubt.
no, I loved it. I'm really interested into the next season. I guess they'll be getting into that, like, the rest of that organization, right? Because
Claw.
there's the redhead guy, the
Yeah.
father...
And whatever other Justice League characters they can pull out of their ass for next season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wonder
if that crew of like weekly powered
Oh, they probably are
espers
going
are
to
going to become a thing. Yeah,
because they were
yeah,
trying to train them,
training
right?
Teru
Yeah,
at the end. Yeah.
yeah.
So who knows, man? Maybe they'll be that guy with his pompadour haircut, who's
Oh, yeah.
useless.
Yes,
They're all useless.
They're all useless. Yep.
I like that the girl is right 60% of the time. I think it was something like that.
That's so
Oh
funny.
wait, also
The guy with pyrokinesis.
something that's so funny. Oh yeah, pyrokinesis guy who can only make a flame come out of his
The
finger.
two brothers with the block
square heads,
Yeah,
and then one of them
circle and one's
dies,
block.
just
Yeah.
gets stabbed, and his corpse fucking gets like dragged up to them and chucked in front of
Yeah,
his
I was like, holy
Like,
shit, didn't see
oh
that
my
coming.
God.
Yeah.
And the guy who kills him is this fucking eggplant head weirdo with
Yeah.
two big bug eyes. It's oh man.
But then he's actually alive.
He didn't actually
But
die.
yeah.
I love how later in that episode, everybody's scheming like, yeah, we got to find a way to get out of here. And they're like, oh, but we got to get the other blockhead brother to help us. But he's probably too sad. And he just
Because
turns
Morning
around
was like, no, he's fine.
Like, I don't give a fuck. My brother's alive.
Yeah.
Well, why didn't you tell me that earlier, you fucking idiot?
It's like I can sense him. He's not dead yet, but he thinks we're dead.
Yeah.
It's like okay.
Couldn't you said that earlier?
Yeah, it's like that would have saved us a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One
wait.
thing I'll say about the show is that, like, I kind of went through a few years of, like, getting away from anime, not watching it too much, but after, like, re-watching the Full Metal Alchemist shows, watching Durarara,
Yeah.
watching One Punch Man, then Mob Psycho, and I've seen Yuri on Ice, but we'll talk about that another day.
That's our next episode.
Talk about that another day. I gotta say that I'm, like... And keep in mind, audience, I know that we're watching some of the best anime of all time.
This is some top tier
Especially
shit.
in, like, the post-2010s, we're watching some of the best anime of all time. I understand.
Fucking out the park.
But goddamn, if this isn't reinvigorating my passion for fucking anime as a goddamn fucking whole.
Holy shit. Do I ever agree? I'm 100% on
This
board
is
with that.
making
sentiment.
me proud to be a fan of anime. It's turning me into a weeb because I feel like I'm
Oh,
too
yeah.
proud this shit.
Yeah. No, I feel that 100%. There's a deep void when you finish an anime this good, and especially when you're finishing anime this good on such a regular basis.
Right.
Like, collectively, we've gone through, like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 shows at this point, and it's like, oh god, every single time there's just this gaping hole where that anime used to be because it's that good, and then we immediately jump into another one that's as good, if not better, in its own way, and that fills the void, and it's just this constant cycle of addiction that we've kind of pulled ourselves into, and when we run out of good anime, it's gonna suck. But
I forgot to even mention that during that time period, like the last year or so, I'd watch like Cowboy Bebop and Neon Genesis
Evangelion,
yeah.
best anime of all time, in my humble opinion.
In Brendan's opinion, yeah. Good. Still good, though.
Still good, though.
I've been very quiet through this because you guys have like a huge anime foundation as kids that I didn't.
I just
like,
watched Beyblade.
But like it seems like from the beginning, like you guys have known a lot more about anime overall. Like, you've definitely watched a ton of more anime. The only anime I've really watched through is Dragon Ball Z before meeting you guys, before us kind of getting more into anime in the last couple of years.
Out of curiosity, did you watch Dragon Ball?
I've seen some episodes, but I haven't seen because YTV didn't play Dragon Ball
until
later. Like they started with Dragon Ball Z.
They started playing it like around the same time they were showing Dragon Ball GT, which is an odd choice.
Yeah, and I didn't even watch GT. But so what I was gonna say is
it was interesting in a way.
I find myself
fell off
really invested in anime now. So for you guys, it's a reinvigoration. For me, it's a lot of discovery, and like I'm not as familiar with anime like tropes or certain things that I think you guys might get more than I do.
Like Brennan and I are born again, and you're just born.
Yeah, I'm just converting now.
It's the Renaissance.
But no, I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's fucking great. If you don't watch anime on a regular basis, if you're just one of our normie friends who are listening to this, first of all, thank you for listening to this.
Yeah, thanks for sticking with us for an hour.
We're a bunch of fucking
Let's be honest,
nerds.
nobody's doing that.
Yeah, that's fact. But
like,
if you are, give it a shot. To be perfectly honest, anime is just another medium for storytelling, and some of the stories are worthwhile, to say the least. You mentioned this earlier. You had a phase where you kind of
in high school a little bit, or actually not in high school, in university. When I was going through university, I kind of dropped off of the anime scene, thinking that most of the storylines were childish and the acting was overdramatic.
It's all kind of
melodramatic. A bunch of people like screaming or crying.
That's like,
but I've like realized that while I still agree with myself that a lot of the shows are like that, there are still like a 5 to 10% ratio of the shows that I think are amazing, like on par or like way better, do totally different things, totally better things than westernized shows, like Western shows.
Make you feel more, man.
But I do still think that there's a shitload of melodrama and annoying storytelling going on in anime.
Shitty anime exists.
That goes for everything.
Yeah. Shitty everything exists. Shitty TV exists.
Anything on American cable. Come on.
More or less.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
I guess that's that for Mob.
More or less,
Mob Psycho
that's our mob. That's our mob discussion. So if you haven't watched it, go watch it. If you have watched it, hit us up with what you thought. Let us know if you agree with us, if you think we're stupid.
Let us know if you hate us.
Yeah, let us know what we should be watching.
Let us know if you hate one of us.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Fuck yeah.
Just to
Who's the
let you
black
guys know,
sheep?
like, I'm Sean. I'm the one who keeps protesting in favor of dubs. I don't know if that makes you want to lynch me.
I'm Brennan. Give me a descriptor.
He said Neon Genesis Evangelion is the best.
Fucking NGE, baby. All right, and then Dylan.
I'm just like the learner, I guess.
Dylan's the one who's only seen Dragon Ball Z.
Actually, no, I realized... Sorry, when I said that, I meant like in its entirety. Like, I've seen episodes. The only other... And I realized there's one other anime that I've watched in its entirety, and that's Gundam Wing.
Oh, shit.
Which is
fantastic.
Right.
Oh, my God.
Fantastic.
High five me. Yeah!
So you got real chops because I haven't seen that. So.
I mean...
That's... Oh, my God. But I built those models. Brendan has some models here.
We're sitting in the presence of...
That's actually was my favorite, like, childhood thing. Like, screw Dragon Ball Z. That
just so the audience knows, you've also seen Full Metal Alchemist, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. You've seen One Punch Man, obviously, and Mob Psycho 100.
Dylan's not as much of a noob.
Sorry, when I talked about those two, I meant kind of like from my childhood, like that kind of foundation before we started discussing anime, before we started this podcast.
Maybe we should do a retro episode next time.
Holy
of like,
fuck.
Not
You're
next time,
anime?
but like in the future. We just talk about, like, we give 5 minutes or something to each one of the animes that we loved as a kid. Or
Oh my
anime,
god.
plural.
I'll probably have to watch.
No, I won't
Something
rewatch
over,
anything. I'll just talk about the stuff that I
Yeah.
remember.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But I guess we should sign off for now and see you next time for Yuri
On ice. Wait, Yuri! Because there's exclamation marks. On ice.